Hello everybody, this is Pete from PA Labs, and this is going to be the last video in our series on the arcade game. It's chapters 19 and 20. Yes, 19 and 20. We're looking at 19 right now, which is the only real code to show off. I have it all working. And this is on Z order. So X and Y is side to side, right? And then Y is up and down. Z is in front or behind, okay? So it's the third dimension coming at you or going away from you as the viewer on the screen. So things pass in front of or they pass behind based on Z order. So in order to get a collision, the bullet and the enemy, then they have to be on the same Z order. Otherwise, the bullet just goes harmlessly behind or harmlessly in front. So how do you code Z order? So, like your background and stuff like that on a game is all behind. Your players are all on one level. They may pass behind something or pass in front of something, but usually the bad guys and the good guys are all in the same Z order. So let's come down here and take a look-see at what we have. So he has his sprite structure, which is, pretty standard fare at this point. You have an image, you have an X, a Y, we have a direction which way it's going, and then we have the Z order. So you have X, Y, and Z, which makes it a true three-dimensional kind of thing. However, for us, it's kind of difficult to see that Z order. He does a very good job in this. So he loads up two tiles in the robot, and then he comes in and says, okay, we're going to add element to our list of sprites, of type sprite, and we are going to assign the image to the tile image that was loaded, and then we're going to assign his X and Y and his Z of -1. And then we're going to come in and say, okay, add a new record, and this is tile 2. So you have tile 2, and his Z order is 0. And then you have the robot image, which is set at 1. So they're all on 3 different Z levels, front, back, and in front of and behind the middle layer. Okay, so -1, 0, and 1. And as I recall, you can have virtually any set of numbers you want. If you want to have 27 layers to your Z, then go for it. It may be a little hard to keep up with, but as with all of his code, it's very well commented. I can't say as much necessarily for my code that I've injected in here and fixed things on. So what we're going to do when we run this, we're going to display the 3 sprites, and then you're going to have the ability to change the Z order on the sprites. Okay, so there you go. It's spinning in front of us that we can see. Whoops, let's get rid of this debug screen. So there it is. Looking good. So let's change the Z order. Press the space bar. So I'm going to hit the space bar, and now we have a different Z order. The robot's in the back, the little green dot thing is in the middle, and the door is on the front. Change it again, and now it's altered again. So that's displaying the Z order of what's going on. And all he's doing is modifying the list Z order value and just continuously displaying the variables. So that's the sum total of this. and it's kind of self-evident in my thinking and in my head. I sure hope it is for you guys to see that. While I'm here also, I am going to jump over to chapter 20 and bring this up. Since this download includes both 19 and 20, I want to point out his map library. And I believe I didn't do a file compare, but it looks very, very, very similar to the final version of map library that he uses in the actual game. So he's got some structures. He's got a bunch of global variables. He's got his dimension of the various arrays he's building. This is an array back here. And we have a few lists. He has ladders and all of that kind of stuff. He's got his big declare of all the functions that are in all of those things. And then we have this enormous block of code with each individual procedure with a great big definition on top of it, telling you what it does, why, and how it works. And if that's not enough, he's probably got more lines of description inside the blocks than he actually does lines of code. Much better than I've ever documented anything in my life. So this is quite impressive. I'm not going to begin to read this to you. It loads the maps. You can see how he's loading the maps and stuff. This doesn't execute, and so because it's all just procedures, there's no process calling it. So to be honest with you, I don't know if there's errors in this by the new standards of today's code. Some of the functions that we have used throughout the book have been replaced with new commands. Spelling has changed on them, or it's been completely replaced and deprecated and doesn't even exist in the compiler anymore. So yeah, I don't have any way to execute this, but it walks you through the code, and it's probably good for you to at least read through the whole thing and see what he's doing and make sure it makes sense to you. We've had lots of working examples up to now that are explaining the small pieces, and seeing the small pieces and then putting all the pieces together creates an entirely different thing to wrap your head around. So I'm going ahead and zipping all of this up into one download for you to download for this particular piece, which completes all of the examples of the book itself. And then you can watch this and play around with it. And then the last chapter, not chapter, but the last download on my webpage, let's go jump out there since this is the last video. I do have all the book examples. The last download contains the entire executable code, all the source code that is the game. I've included the PDF. I've included, I didn't put in all the package, all the included code examples. You have them all right here. So I didn't include them in there, but I did include, I'll rewrite that. So I did include the level editor, which interestingly is written in Blitz Basic. It's not written in Pure Basic that he used, but he uses its output as his DAT files, his binary files, and loads them up into Pure Basic. So this is the whole package here, and I will jump over, and this is his. Here's the game right here. So I don't really have a way to zoom this up, but you have the book, you have the graphic, the images, you have the music. Here's the map maker, and this is an install. so you can run the install and create your own levels. Here's the 3 levels of the game, which I can't get past level 1. Here's the project. So this is the guide that I actually compiled. Here's the primary source, and all the code is buried into these guys. So most of it is, these are things to load. You have libs. This is all his code. He put them all in lib. That's fine. Music has the music, which is the game stuff. And you can take screenshots. So I believe it's like F10 in the game. You can hit F10 and take screenshots of various pieces of the game if you want. And they screenshot and come in here, which is like 3 lines of code. So you can actually search on screenshot in the code, and you can see how he's doing a screenshot. But anyhow, you have the whole book, you have the map maker, and you have the entire game right here, and it runs. So I want to thank you all for bearing with this whole project over these, goodness gracious, 3 weeks, I guess. And thank you all for watching.